Hello and welcome to Global Azure Bootcamp, Virtual Edition. In this session, I'm going to show you how you can use Azure DevOps to build your static website and deploy it to Azure. Before we jump in, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Vukašin Terzić. I work as a solution architect for the company called KPCS and I live in Prague. I work with Microsoft Azure since 2015 and I love helping customers with their journey to cloud. I also specialize in virtualization and hyperconverged infrastructures and Active Directory. I'm very passionate about PowerShell and automation in general. In this video, we are going to use Azure Static Website Hosting feature to host our website. But what is that and why we should use it? There are many ways how and places where you can host your website. But if you are already using Azure, you can easily host it in a storage account. The benefit of that is that you get super inexpensive, ad-free and easily to configure website hosting that gives you full control over it. And when I say easy, I mean in a few clicks. Let me show you how. I already have my resource group. I just need to create a storage account. To do that, go click Add New Resource, find Storage Account and click Create. I'm going to select my resource group. Now I need to give it a name. This name has to be unique within Azure, not just in your subscription. Select location. I'm in West Europe. For purpose of this demo, we are going to use locally redundant storage. Double check everything, click Create. This should be done in a couple of moments. Almost there. Okay, let's go to our resource. And now we need to enable static website hosting. And you can see this feature is already built into Azure, and only thing we have to do is to turn it on. Great, now I have to enter the name of my index page and name of the error page. And click Save. That will create the container called web with a $sign, and this is the place where we need to store our files. We will also get a region-specific public-facing primary endpoint. This is the URL for our storage account. This is a slightly different URL from the storage account URL that can be used to access and copy files. And now if I go to the web container, I can upload files there. We can upload files from Azure Portal, from Azure Storage Explorer or by other APIs such as PowerShell or CLI. I already created a sample index file and I'm going to upload it. As you can see, I can select multiple files and click Upload to upload all at once. We now have files copied to the storage account, so let's find the URL of our website and try to see if it works. And there it is. That was easy, wasn't it? We can also easily add a custom domain to use with our website. That's not covered in this tutorial, but I wrote an article about it on my blog if you want to check it out. Now that we have our static website, let's see how Azure DevOps can help us automate some tasks. For a simple static website, we can use Azure Pipeline to automate the process of uploading files to Azure Storage. Here is how that works. We just finished creating a new HTML page and we committed new code changes to our repository. For this demo, I will be using Azure repositories, but this can be a GitHub or anything else. And now we have to get it online. How can we do that? Well, there are two ways how this can be done. One is manual and one is automated. In previous demo, I just showed you how user can go to Azure portal and upload files manually. If we have a small website and we make changes once in a while, then this is probably okay. But if we are doing this daily, then automating this process can save us some time. For that we can use Azure DevOps. Azure pipeline can be triggered by the changes in the repository. Files will be processed immediately after user commits the change, and few moments later websites will be online. That's very useful and easy to do. Things get a little bit more complicated if our website is more than just a few static pages. Static pages are fast, lightweight, more secure, and they scale well. But static websites can only contain HTML, CSS, and client-side scripts. It can't have server-side web programming and databases that are needed for CMS to work. That makes content of static websites more difficult to maintain. However, using static website generators such as Jekyll, Hugo, Octopress, or others allows us to create a relational CMS-type websites that can include tags, categories, post relations, and search capability. All of that in a form of static pages. With that, we can have a website that looks and behaves just like a WordPress website, but in much faster and safer form. Azure DevOps can help us build and upload websites automatically. If we decide to use static website generator, user will have to install and maintain all the prerequisites and manually build the website before it can be uploaded. Azure DevOps can handle that entire process automatically. As we saw it, all of this can be done manually. But here are some reasons why we should use DevOps to help us with automation. Automated process can save us some time, but that's not the only reason. The downside of using static website generators is that we need to build a website on our computer again every time we make a change. For example, building a Jekyll website requires many different prerequisites like having Ruby, Python, and many other things installed on our computer and maintained. And if you are like me, you are not going to like that. I didn't want to install a bunch of things on my computer that I'm not going to use otherwise. And this is where Azure Pipeline can help us as well. We can automate installation of all prerequisites inside of a temporary container, initiate the site build, and upload everything to Azure Storage after the build is completed. Once we have it configured properly, we can rely on it to complete successfully every time. This saves our time and reduces the probability of human error. Also, Azure DevOps includes 30 hours per month of free runtime. Execution of build and upload tasks takes only a couple of minutes. This means that in most cases we are not going to go over the 30-hour free limit and we will be using it for free. Now let's see how we can do this. In the following demo, I'm going to show you how to use static website generator Jekyll and how to create Azure pipeline that is executed automatically after code is changed. Pipeline will install all prerequisites for Jekyll, build the website, and upload it to our static website container. To avoid creating very long video, I'm going to assume that you have basic knowledge of Azure DevOps and its features. In case you try to follow this tutorial and you get stuck on something I haven't covered, feel free to contact me and I'll do my best to help you out. So first, we need a storage account with static websites enabled. We are going to use the one from previous demo. I already removed 2 files we uploaded earlier. Azure Pipeline will need access to our storage account. To make things simple, I'm going to use access key. We don't want to save the information in a clear text, so let's create a key vault and save information there. Go to our resource group, add new resource, search for key vault and create it. We only need to enter the name and location. Let's not worry about the access policies and network access now. Notice that I'm not adding tags to the resources, but you should definitely be doing that. Key vault is now created and I'm going to add secrets. We need to know storage account name and the access key. This information can be found on access key settings page of the storage account. So let's create two secrets and give them user-friendly names. Now that we have that, let's go to our DevOps page. I already have my DevOps organization and a project called Global Azure 2020. I'm going to use DevOps Repos to store our code. If you are already using GitHub or something else, that's okay. I will show you how you can select the repository of choice. We don't have any files here yet. I already have this repository connected to my VS Code, and you can do the same from here. I found this little minimalistic Jekyll template called plain white, and we are going to use it for our demo. There are many existing templates that you can use and customize, or you can create your own. Download the template from here. I already done that and I copied files to repo folder. Now let's do some changes. I'm just going to change few things like a title and description. And let's create a new post called demo post. Now I just need to commit the changes and we should see our files in our repo. Now, let's create a new Azure pipeline. Go to Pipelines, create new pipeline. From here you can select your code source. We are going to use YAML pipeline. You can see there are many existing templates to choose from. In case you want to start with an empty pipeline, this is the option you would choose. We are building a Jekyll site, so we can start with that template. And this is how our pipeline looks like. We can see that it's being triggered on code change in our master branch. Container is going to run latest version of Ubuntu Linux, and run Jekyll tasks is using Docker Container Registry to build our code. Build source directory is our folder when our files are checked in from Azure Repo, and binaries directory is the place where our exported HTML files will go. Now, I did this few times before, and I know that there is an issue in the newest Ubuntu version and it's going to fail. To prevent that, I'm going to grant full access to source folder. And with this, the task that will install all prerequisites that are defined in Jekyll template and build our website from Markdown to HTML is completed. To follow DevOps best practices, we want to be able to track our changes and to keep historic builds. So let's add task to publish artifacts. We have many pre-built tasks and we don't have to run it from scratch. I'm going to search for publish build artifacts, select it. We are not using staging directory and I will add our build directory instead. Then add artifact name and that's it. We should also add display names to our tasks so they are easier to recognize. Now we have to connect to Key Vault and download our secrets. There is a task for that too. Select your subscription, select your Key Vault and select secrets. We are going to select all since we need them all. But this is not enough. Pipeline will not have access to the Key Vault and that has to be granted separately. I'm going to open a Key Vault in a new tab, go to Access Policies and add Get and List policy to our Azure DevOps Service Principal. Now we have to add variables to our DevOps library. I don't want to save our pipeline just yet, so I'm going to open it in a new tab. Go to Library, add Variable Group, Select Subscription and Key Vault. Oops, I forgot to save the access policy, so it still doesn't have access. Now it works. Now we just need to add variables and click Save. This will grant access to our pipeline to read secrets from our key vault. The last thing that's missing is to copy files to our storage container. This is a Linux container, so we can use Azure CLI to do that. Find Azure CLI, select our subscription, select the script type shell, and it's an inline script. There are different ways how you can copy files. Using Azure CLI is just one of them. So let's type our script. Destination is a web container, source is our build binaries, and for storage account name and access key we will use variables containing information from key vault secrets. And this will create a task for us. But this is not going to work. Container web contains $sign in its name, and the pipeline will think it's a variable. So we need to change quotes a little bit to make that work. And now when I click Save, that will automatically run our pipeline. We can see that pipeline is running now, but that's going to take a few minutes, so I will speed it up. And it's done. We can see that job duration was just over 5 minutes and that all of our tasks were completed successfully. Let's go to our web container now and see if our files are there. Okay, we are going to need this URL. And yes, here are the files. Let's see how that looks online. As you can see, our static website was uploaded and our new demo post was created successfully. Let's create another post and see that happens one more time. I'm going to create a demo post too. Commit the change. And we can now see that our job already started. Five minutes later, task was completed, and let's refresh our page now. Dun, ta-da-da! And the demo post number 2 is here. And as you saw it, we didn't have to do anything. Everything was done automatically in the background for us. Okay, that's the end of today's tutorial. If you have any questions or you would like to reach out to me for any other reason, feel free to use provided social media links and contacts. Also, don't forget to check out other Azure community videos on this YouTube channel. Thanks for watching and keep clouding around.